In the pre-dawn hours off Isla La Tortuga, a routine maritime interception went catastrophically wrong. The Venezuelan offshore patrol vessel, GC-23 Naguata, accelerated into a high-speed ramming maneuver against the Portuguese-flagged polar cruise ship RCGS Resolute, and the result was unexpected, humiliating, and deadly for the Navy. The Resolute, built to bite through ice and shrug off heavy impacts, barely blinked. Naguata, light and fast by design, did not survive the collision. Within minutes, the patrol boat began taking on water, its structure failed, and a naval asset sank not because of enemy fire, but because of a single misjudged maneuver. This is a lesson in physics, seamanship, and the danger of letting bravado outrun engineering. Scene setting: where and when. The incident unfolded in international waters near Isla La Tortuga, a treacherous stretch of Caribbean Sea known for unpredictable currents and shifting weather patterns. It was early morning, low visibility, long shadows, and crews still running on night shift routines. The RCGS Resolute, a purpose-built polar explorer with an ice-class reinforced hull, was drifting with one engine offline. Venezuelan authorities ordered the patrol to intercept. The mission: compel compliance or escort the ship to Puerto Moreno. What began as a law enforcement-style engagement soon turned into a textbook study of why kinetic decisions must respect structural realities. The ships in the mismatch. Understanding the outcome demands a quick look at the two vessels involved. GC-23 Naguata, Guaycari-class offshore patrol vessel, commissioned 2011, displacement 1,720 tons, armament 76mm main gun, 35mm autocannon, multiple heavy machine guns, role coastal patrol, interdiction, fast response. Construction: welded steel plating, watertight bulkheads, designed for speed and maneuverability rather than heavy collision resilience. RCGS Resolute, polar expedition cruise ship, Portuguese-flagged. Displacement and hull: heavy ice-reinforced bow and forward hull, designed to withstand impacts with ice flows and extreme pressures. Purpose-built for survival in harsh seas. Structure emphasizes rigidity and mass. Put simply, this was a tactical mismatch. One vessel was optimized to absorb shocks and keep going. The other was optimized to be quick and agile. When mass meets momentum, the heavier, stiffer object almost always wins. The maneuver and the physics. Naguata's captain ordered a high-speed intercept, effectively a warning ram meant to intimidate the Resolute into compliance. At speed, kinetic energy scales with velocity squared. That makes even a relatively light hull deliver enormous destructive force on impact. But the dynamics of ship-to-ship contact are less forgiving than a Hollywood collision. Hydrodynamic suction, twisting moments, and blunt force transfer can concentrate stress at well seams, frames, and bulkhead joints. On impact, the lighter Naguata experienced localized buckling of its bow and rupture of internal bulkheads. The Resolute's reinforced bow acted almost like an immovable wall, transferring shock to the patrol vessel. Propulsion shafts jammed, engine rooms flooded, and hydraulic systems failed. Emergency pumps kicked on, but they were overwhelmed. Water ingress outpaced containment. Electrical systems shorted, emergency generators that could have kept the ship alive were compromised, and the vessel began to list heavily. Damage control teams are trained for rapid firefighting and compartment sealing, but no training can overcome catastrophic structural failure at the hull level. The Naguata's hull plating and internal framing simply couldn't absorb the forces involved. The patrol boat's fate was sealed within minutes. Human factors and command decisions. This was not solely an engineering failure. It was a command failure. Boarding: the decision to ram, a chain of choices conspired against the crew. Underestimation of the opponent. Commanders assumed a civilian vessel would be intimidated by aggression. They did not account for structural superiority. Overconfidence in platform capability. Naguata was built for interdiction, not for head-on collisions with ice-class hulls. The decision to press the maneuver ignored design constraints. Escalation without fallback. Warning shots and verbal challenges precede more confrontational acts for a reason: they afford time to reassess. The decision to ram removed that option. On the Resolute, professionalism and training showed. The cruise ship's captain maintained composure, executed damage control protocols, and prioritized passenger and crew safety. Their ship's robustness turned a potential disaster for civilians into a survival that only increased the patrol boat's risk. The sinking, how it unfolded. The sequence reads like a slow-motion mechanical tragedy. Bulkheads ruptured, water-filled engine rooms, electrical systems failed one by one, and propulsion ceased. Pumps designed to handle limited flooding were immediately outmatched. The list increased, internal equipment floated or fell, and stabilizing measures failed. The Naguata, unable to regain power or control, slowly lost buoyancy and eventually capsized. Witness accounts described alarms, frantic crew movements, and the squeal of steel as stressed plates buckled. Attempts to seal compartments delayed the inevitable. Even with exhaustive damage control efforts, hydrodynamic forces and structural compromise won. The patrol vessel slipped beneath the waves, a modern warship lost to its own misapplied aggression. Aftermath, diplomatic fallout, and lessons. The sinking of the GC-23 Naguata did not remain a local event. It instantly erupted into a diplomatic flashpoint. Venezuela framed the incident as an act of provocation, accusing the Portuguese-flagged cruise ship of aggression and even hinting at piracy. But international maritime authorities in Portugal firmly rejected this claim, pointing to radar records and testimonies that showed it was the Venezuelan warship that initiated contact. Analysts quickly labeled it what it was: a miscalculated act of escalation that backfired catastrophically. In the days that followed, the political fallout spread beyond the immediate players. The international community demanded answers on the rules of engagement at sea and raised serious concerns about the safety of civilian vessels navigating international waters. Maritime law experts highlighted that firing warning shots and executing a ramming maneuver against a non-hostile civilian ship crossed legal boundaries. For Venezuela, the incident became not just a naval embarrassment, but also a diplomatic liability that damaged its credibility on the global stage. At the same time, navies around the world quietly studied the event with professional interest. The failure of the Naguata was not only about politics, it was about tactics colliding with engineering realities. Commanders and strategists revisited doctrines on when and how force should be applied, particularly the use of ramming, a maneuver rarely employed in modern naval operations. The message was clear: aggression must be tempered with technical knowledge. Without understanding the structural resilience of the opponent, bold moves can end in disaster. Ultimately, the incident has already secured its place as a cautionary case study for future generations of naval officers. In war colleges and training academies, it will be dissected as a vivid reminder that confidence and speed cannot overcome the limits of engineering design. Physics, not pride, dictates the outcome when steel meets steel at sea. The Naguata's fate serves as a permanent warning. Never let tactical audacity outrun the cold, unyielding laws of physics. Broader implications. Beyond the immediate incident, the episode underscores how civilian platforms, especially purpose-built polar vessels, can survive scenarios that would break smaller warships. It also highlights a key truth of modern maritime operations. Restraint, legal clarity, and accurate threat assessments are as important as weapons and speed. The Naguata's fate is a reminder that showing force without full situational awareness is a gamble with catastrophic risk. The attempted ramming of the RCGS Resolute was meant to showcase authority, but instead it ended in humiliation and loss. The GC-23 Naguata's sinking proved that intent and firepower mean little when weighed against the unrelenting forces of physics. In the unforgiving math of momentum and hull strength, overconfidence can become fatal in just minutes. The lessons extend far beyond Venezuela. This incident raises hard questions for navies around the world. Should interdiction tactics be reevaluated to avoid putting crews in unnecessary danger? Or was this simply a one-off blunder, the result of misjudgment rather than flawed doctrine? Whatever the answer, the case has already become a textbook warning about the risks of mixing aggression with poor technical awareness. If you found this video useful, like, share, and subscribe for more naval analysis and incident breakdowns.